Hi, I'm Katherine Sabbath, and this year, due to the ban on gatherings, we aren't able to congregate in the ways that we normally would for Anzac Day. But that doesn't mean that we can't explore new ways to commemorate and honour those who have served and continue to serve. One of the ways that we can all get together, regardless of our situation, is by cooking. Today I'm going to show you how to make some chocky Anzac biscuits, and you can make them for yourself or for whoever you're isolating with at the moment. So the first thing we're going to do is grab yourself a nice big bowl with lots of space for mixing, and then add your oats. And now we're adding our shredded coconut. This is an optional choice. I love to add shredded coconut because it gives it a nice chewy sweetness, and it reminds me of my childhood, so it's definitely going in. Plain flour, which I've sifted, and I've added half a teaspoon of salt in there too. Last ingredient for the dry mix is our caster sugar. Pour that straight in. And I just want to make sure everything is well combined. The flour, sugar, coconut, everything, so that when we add our wet mixture, we don't have any mouthfuls of flour. So now we add our delicious melted butter and golden syrup. I've just zapped this in the microwave for 30 seconds, given it a mix, and then zapped it again for another 30 seconds. And now I add half a teaspoon of bicarb soda and some water to this as well. That smell of melted butter and golden syrup, it's dangerously luscious, so I'm just gonna have to be careful with this. And we formed our whirl. We've got our delicious mixture of butter and golden syrup. So once your Anzac Bicky mixture looks like it's come together, and it smells really good, and that's when you know that your dough is ready to be baked. Now all we need is a tablespoon for rolling, 2 baking trays lined with non-stick baking paper, and we're ready to roll. You can just dive in there and start rolling, but what I found was a really great trick for me at home is if you just buy any type of cooking oil spray, or you can use any oil that you have in the cupboard, just lightly grease your hands. Just the palm of your hand will do, and that will prevent the mixture from sticking to you. It just makes it a lot cleaner, and also the temptation of licking your hands isn't there. So I'm using a tablespoon because it's easier for me to measure, and I usually like 2 tablespoons for my Anzac cookies because I prefer nice, chunky, chewy cookies. A golf ball size, I'd say, and I'm just using my palms to shape it together and to compress the mixture. And then once that's done and you're happy with the amount of dough, just place that onto your baking tray and give it a bit of a press. Leave them thicker if you want a chewier cookie, and press them down a little bit thinner if you like them crispier. Or you can do a mixture of both depending on the type of people you live with. This makes about 14 cookies, but much less work with more hands. Another great activity to do at home, and I'd like to direct your attention to these beautiful knitted poppies over here. Now, they're a wonderful craft activity, and they first originated across Australia when they were made to commemorate 100 years since the end of World War I. Now, you can find the how-to for these guys at the War Memorial website, awm.gov.au. Now, these beauties are ready to go, so I'll just pop these in the oven at 180 degrees for about 15 minutes, and then I'll rotate the trays. These Anzac Bickies have been cooling for about 15 minutes, if you can let them last that long. And now I'm gonna dip them into some melted chocolate, dip and crunch. Ooh, yum. I like to dip half of this into the chocolate because I'm a bit of a chocoholic. And you can just eat this as is, but I'm just gonna let that set. Before I do, I'm going to decorate with a little bit of toasted coconut and some toasted macadamias. And done. Absolutely delightful. I hope you've enjoyed this recipe, and please stay safe and well this Anzac Day, lest we forget.